Maya, you have many stories, many stories that you have collected as you grew up. Do you remember the moment you were born? Do you remember the day you were given your name? But you know you were even before you were given any name. You must have been. Otherwise you do not see how you are, what you are today, where you are today. The mind looks for connection of stories. There are short stories and there are long stories. You have met many people in your life and you have forgotten about many of them. You have walked some streets and forgotten about it. You drank water and forgot about it. You told somebody something and forgot about it. Somebody told you something and you forgot about it. Some people you met for shorter times and you forgot about it. Some people you met for longer times and you forget about it. You cannot remember all the stories. And you know it is a story as you have left a lot of people behind. In the distant memory you still have some of your childhood mates, some of the characters and their stories that you have heard during your childhood or as you grew up. So you already have left a lot of stories. You already have started a lot of new ones. You already have had a good experience in balanced remembering and forgetting that makes your life livable, normal, natural. There are other stories you have carried all along. Some friends who you have been meeting all your life. The friend's character, the friend's family, the friend's hobbies, how they look, how they talk, how they eat, how they fart. You have known. Those are the characters and their stories you have seen all your life and reinforced again and again and mixed in your own version of universe. Because each minds have their own universe. Each walking, talking, thinking head in this planet have their own universe and their own stories. The mind shapes stories according to the experience, dividing it into pleasant and unpleasant. Or simply it forgets. Those considered unpleasant pushes us for survival strategy. We start forming shadows. And the more shadow, the more dense it starts becoming for us to experience. More suffering and pain starts coming in. And we love it. The nature of human mind is such that it likes stories, be it good, be it bad. It needs to have a certain weight into it. Which is why we are experiencing the life in this planet in a collective story. At this point, your story is not simply your story. It is an integrated form of the stories flowing around at this very moment. Yet, collective story is also a story being recorded, being thought, imagined, speculated, planned, unplanned. Anything that mind starts drifting on and catching a thread and adding and adding more and more threads. It is the nature of mind to do so, and yet is a part of a cosmic story of mind, the story that mind creates. As many thoughts inside one's mind, as many characters, as many emotions, as many experience, the very basic experience of life in this very moment is changed. This very moment can be all kind of experiences and emotions. Any form of emotion has an equal chance of being present and guiding your experience this very moment. And that means the experiencer of the story can choose to just witness and accept whatever the existence brings in their life. The story is now universal. When you arrive, you see your personal story. You see the story of where you live. You see the story of your tribe. You see the story of the collective common. You see the story of the cosmos. And you realize that your story will extend at least 100 years or so, and will be remembered for 1,000 years, or maybe a few thousand years, or a millennium. It does not matter. It was created at some point and will vanish into nothingness at some point. Just like each tiny thoughts comes in the mind. As the thoughts come and go, the characters come and go, the stories come and go. Some stories very short, some you have extended till here and now, till the moment you leave your complete identity. You leave your name, which is why it is called resurrection. It is called giving a new name. This practice is all around the human world because it comes from the collective common. Then you are the witness, accepting whatever happens as the unknown is extremely vast, and yet we have an option each moment to experience this not knowingness with either some experience or full experience. All that started with one thought, and the thread that was built behind. In meditation, the name drops, the identity drops, and you still see that you are. In dream, into the unconsciousness, the name drops, the identity drops, the body drops, and the unconscious handles the body. In death, the identity drop, the body drop, the mind drop. Then it is beyond the consciousness and subconsciousness. And this can be reached by realizing and accepting the duality nature of universe. Accepting it completely, its presence, that there is truth and there is false, that there is love, there is hatred, there is peace, there is war. Everything exists and everything is happening on its own accord, as it should. The happening is simply happening, and we don't know how, we don't know why, what force. All we know is the accepted form of theories and hypotheses, practical form of theories and hypotheses, yet we do not know. The not knowing accepts the existence of both sides of a coin, the existence of day and a night, the existence of all bottoms and all the heights, all the troughs and all the crests of a human experience. Exactly as there are seasons, there are patterns of experiences. And it corresponds exactly to the way we experience our life when we meet various characters that we have built around people who we meet in our life. And the experience varies. Yet the experiencer is the same, that goes on experiencing every story as it happens and ultimately as it goes. And now, witnessing from this point, you have no stories left at all. Then I heard it is said that you are the experience, experiencing itself, the witness, witnessing itself. Then you simply are. As our mind loves to hold on to stories, its pattern affects our daily life. The story that has depth, the depth is the earth element. When the story has much depth in it, the more attractive it becomes, the more clinging it becomes to the mind. So is the news, the story of a news, which is why it is called news story. It is a story. The fact at exact is hardly reported. It modifies the experience into words, and the words read by people who have their own experiences of those words in their minds, in their life. And it gets differently experienced all around the world. As many human beings, as many experiences. So which experience would you like to experience? Then you will realize that you can simply be here and now and let the whole thing unfold in its own accord. And this is the moment when you see the creation as it happens, this very moment. Then you have surpassed stories, and by that characters, shapes, forms, all the tiny details that you have crafted in your story, in your play, in your leela. You simply let it go, as you know that it was all part of the grand universe, and you are simply playing a part. And this brings in gratitude of being able to be a part of something so complex that a human mind has always speculated on. Something so profound of which the depth has never been found. Something so wide that we haven't yet started the journey. It feels so. Now you have the feeling of surrendering and letting the existence experience itself. Then life is full of bliss. Then life is simply happening as it happens. And you have no story to hold. And you also realize that there are stories that others hold about you. There are roles that you have to play. There are things that you have to do in order to continue being in this bliss. So you take the ownership of your life and be your own guardian, and then you realize your responsibility and you start accepting that. From there, you are no more the old you. From there, you have simply accepted everything, and that includes all the shadows, all these stories, all the non-stories, everything that you have experienced, everything that you have not experienced, all the moment that you lived, all the moment that you did not live, all the wishes that was fulfilled, all the wishes that was not fulfilled, all the things you knew and all the things you did not know. Everything is accepted. Everything is integrated. And then the integration is complete. Then you have no stories at all. Then you are free. Then you are part of the Tao as it happens. This is the meaning of Sahasrara Chakra. The integration of all that you are within and without. The acceptance of everything without. Any heaviness, but with complete ease and gratitude. Then you have no stories to hold, nowhere to go, nothing to achieve. But you start enjoying each moment as it happens. Then when you sing, the singing comes from the existence itself. When you dance, the dance comes from the experience, from the existence itself. When you paint, the movement is given by the hands of the existence itself. When you write a poetry, the words flows from the existence. And you can dive into any of the emotions. Love, hatred, kindness, angerness, fearful, compassion. You can be at any and be at ease. And when there is a downfall in the experience and there is certain sadness coming in your direction, you can sense that and you can gracefully accept the experience. And you are more aware about your actions, and you are more aware about your own being. Then you have arrived. And that is why Maya know your stories, the pattern of your characters, your mind, your life. And have a gratitude